Now, Sylvie Kindree is an ally well known in our community, a singer-songwriter. She has a piece called Pauline Johnson that she'd like to share with us right now. Thank you.
Thank you so much for asking me here today to sing. This is a huge honor. My name's Sylvie Kindree, as Michael mentioned. I'm a white settler living here on Saugeen Ojibwe Nation and Métis territory. This song, and you're going to hear on the track, that's my husband Mike Weir playing the track. He couldn't be here today. This song is from a collection of songs called The Learnings. It's a project that we started 3 years ago when I was at Trent University. I was doing a degree in Indigenous Environmental Studies, and I was really fortunate to just receive so many teachings from so many elders, Indigenous elders from many different nations. So this song in particular came to me when I was making a silver covenant chain wampum with Ongwe Homwe elder Skahandone Swamp. And I was reflecting on this silver covenant chain because it's a treaty between Haudenosaunee peoples and settlers, and it's a treaty of mutual aid and respect. And so I was thinking about these things, and I started to think about my education I received before I came to Trent University. And I went to a high school called Pauline Johnson. And this education was missing some pretty huge truths, as I discovered when I went to Trent. And it was not, in fact, respectful to Indigenous folks whose land we were on and we were learning on. Now, I'm looking around today and I'm not seeing too many younger folks. So I'm betting that education hasn't changed a lot since I was there. I'm in my mid-30s, so it was a while ago. And so that's disappointing, but as John Ralston Saul was saying, those things aren't really going to change from the top down. We have to make those things change. So for any young settler folks in here today, I would ask you to please go out and talk about everything that you heard here today, and don't stop talking about it, because there's so much work to be done. And talking about it is the first thing, and talk about what else you can do. Anyway, here's my song for you.
One day we were young and thought we were home, biking the hilly woods through a mulberry kingdom. Before I knew what the drink was, and that my daddy couldn't live without it, before I knew about justice and that I'd have to fight for it, I had a willow full of treasures and a castle made of stone, but I didn't know it was their land I called home. We were the happy settler children, learning our version of history in a school called Pauline Johnson, where we never learned a story. brand was, though I played by his grave, and they never mentioned my privilege and how it was made. Oh, they said this land is white land, but in eagle's nest we lived. They never talked about land claims, 'cause they don't tell the truth to kids. We were the happy settler children, learning our version of history in a school called Pauline Johnson, where we never learned a story, and a portrait hung in the hallway, but I never really saw, 'cause the queen was always watching, looking down from 10 feet tall. No one talked about ancestors. They only told me of great wars and said that my mother is an economic resource. Oh, you told me I was learning in this concrete daytime prison, but you poisoned our minds with your centrism. We were the happy settler children, learning our version of history in a school called Pauline Johnson, where we never learned a story, and a portrait hung in the hallway, but I never really saw, 'cause the queen was always watching, looking down from 10 feet tall. Pauline Johnson, Pauline Johnson. Pauline Johnson. Pauline, 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 Pauline. Pauline Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you. I forgot to say something at the beginning, which is really important for those of you who don't know who Pauline Johnson is. She's a famous Ganyageaga poet, and you should read her stuff.
Thank you, Sylvie. Thank you so much.